On this channel we talk a lot about Digimon we could connect, from Ayatamon being a fun Shurimon evo to my perennial favourite Fujinmon as a Rapidmon evolution. But what about similar Digimon? Not variants or evolutions, but Digimon who are incredibly similar, be it their designs, their overall themes, or just their names, and yet as far as we know have absolutely zero in-universe lore connections, or have never evolved into each other or been in each other's evolutions on VPETs, video games, etc, etc. Well, on today's video, I'm going to be talking about 10 of them. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video, and yes, we are talking about Digimon whose share connections are very similar and yet have never been officially connected by Bandai or Toei. For this way, I'm judging their lack of connections in kind of a couple of ways. First of all is anime outings. So for example, while Fanbeamon and Pomimon are not connected, they did share an episode of Digimon Adventure 2020. That is definitely a way more loose example, but that's kind of the thing I'm talking about here. But also I'm very specifically talking about evolutions, whether a Digimon has digivolved into another one, or whether they share very common evolution branches. For example, if there was no lore connection between Birdramon and Aquilamon, they would still be connected because of their pre-evolution Biomon and their shared Garudamon potential evolution. The only thing that we have to do as a caveat is that we're not including the Digimon card game here because Digivolution is so free in that game. Basically, if a Digimon is the same color and the right level, sometimes not even the right level or the same color, thanks to Digivolution sources, DNA, all those kinds of things, so many more Digivolutions are possible, but we're talking more about curated evolutions or curated connections here, not just evolutions. So without further ado, let's begin with Runamon and Raidramon. These two Digimon are so fun to me. Runamon of course debuted on the Impulse City DIM card, which came out at the same time as Raidramon's DIM card Ancient Warriors, that came bundled with the special yellow vital bracelet. I recently did a video ranking all of the DIM cards, by the way. If you want to check that out, the card is on screen right now. So while they are all VB Digimon, they do not share a DIM card, so their lack of connection makes these two very similar Digimon that came out for the VB at the same time and both occupying adult level slots. From their lightning or electric horns to their four-legged appearance and even their official art posing, these two feel like cousins and I'd love for them to meet. As a fun bonus connection, Bulkmon, which is on the same DIM as Runamon, has a very similar headpiece and horn to Raidramon, which is also very similar to the headpieces seen in Thunderbirdmon, Azulongmon, and a couple of others. How interesting. And while we're talking about Raidramon, we should also probably talk about Raidramon. What? Yeah, so Raidramon, or Raidramon, is technically a dubism. Bandai JP wanted the Digimon to be called Lydramon, apparently, which they now seem to be pushing into English-speaking territories, with the latest card being called Lydramon in English. And this is actually very disappointing to me because Raidramon or Raidramon is one of the few dubisms that I actually think is kind of a little bit better than the original Japanese, or at least more true to it, because calling it Raidramon or Raidramon of course references Raijin or Raiden, while still acting as a double meaning on the word lightning too, because of that L and R similarity in Japanese. But anyway, with that dubism, we as English-speaking Digimon fans kind of ended up with two Raidramon for a while there when Appmon came along. In fact, there are a few Appmon that share names with Digimon, specifically in Japanese, including Batterymon, Cardmon, Hackmon, though Huckmon is now becoming the more common spelling of the actual Digimon, and Navimon. Though a lot of those same name Digimon, apart from Hackmon and Raidramon, are kind of long forgotten at this point. They're the Bemon. Oh my god, can we talk about the Bemon situation? Ugh, Khan does a video about Bemon. Been uploaded. Approved by sponsor, and then Digimon gives them all reference book listings. I hate it here. But yes, for now, those connections remain unlinked, and the Appmon are the most recent versions of a lot of them. Then next up is Algamon and Arcadimon, and the similarities and connections between these two is actually kinda huge, to the point I believe Algamon may be being used as a kind of modern Arcadimon. If you're not familiar, Arcadimon was a huge enemy Digimon in the V-Tamer manga, as well as showing up in Digimon Story Hacker's Memory among some other toys and games. And Algamon of course played a vital role in Digimon Saver's movie Ultimate Power Activate Burst Mode, and expanded its roster in Digimon Adventure 2020. But these two Digimon lines' similarities are huge. First of all, their names begin with A of course, but they are also one one of very few Digimon to keep the same name through all their evolution stages without any technical modifications. For example, Gizmon also does the same thing, but usually it is added like XT80 onto its name. Algamon and Arcadiamon are technically the same name throughout their entire evolution tree, we just use Ultimate, Champion, etc. to denote what level they're at for ease of communication. On top of this, their designs are quite complementary, with both of them throughout their stages having claws, tendrils, and generally odd bodies. But on top of that, their names also share a fun country of origin. Algamon is also sometimes called Argomon. It's to do with that same R and L situation in Japanese and is a play on words, as its name comes from algorithm, but also Argos or Argus, a many-eyed giant in Greek mythology, while Arcadimon's name comes from Arcadia, a utopian society also from Greek mythology. How fun is that connection? We can make that connection very easily, but Bandai seemingly never has and may never. I think these two need their own dim card or something. Now is a suggestion from Digidestined level channel member Dresden Nova, and by the way, channel members are instrumental in this channel right now as I'm trying to make a lot more custom art videos, and sponsors are very dependent. So if you want to support this channel, get early access to videos, and submit items for videos, or even make suggestions for videos to be made, just like Dresden Nova does, a channel membership or super thanks is a great way to do that. Anyway, Dresden suggested that we are long overdue a connection between Agumon X, Greymon X, and Brachiomon. Now you may say, oh well Karn, they're X antibodies, that's why they haven't digivolved into Brachiomon before, except no, that's not the case. X antibodies actually digivolve all the time. But wildly, we actually have no solid anime, video game, or VPET example of Brachiomon digivolving from regular Greymon either, though Agumon and Tai did kind of encounter a Brachiomon in Adventure 2020, so there's somewhat of a connection between Agumon but not Agumon X. The visual similarities, the fact that they're all dinosaurs, this would have been a no-brainer for any of the Agumon dim cards, or maybe an upcoming X antibody Digimon dim card, or even a video game at some point, you know? Really, the only way we can make this dream come true now is in the card game, which is a shame. Alright, now is Equistramon and Paledramon, and this one I just feel bad about. Equistramon is a Digimon created for a fan that supported a Digimon Adventure 20th Anniversary Memorial crowdfunding campaign, and the same year that fan probably submitted their requested flying ice dragon Digimon, Paledramon, the Bluecomon evolution, which is a flying ice dragon Digimon, debuted in Digimon Encounters, the Chinese mobile game. Oof, these two are so similar, but due to Equistramon's nature as being created for a fan, it has never digivolved from Bluecomon and may never do so. But hey, at least it looks more cuddly than Paledramon? Alright, this next one's crazy to me and one that I have been baffled by for a long time, and that is that Trailmon and Locomon have no connection. Both are trained Digimon, both have appeared in at least a couple of different types of media and anime, and yet while Locomon gets to evolve from Digimon and evolve into Digimon like Gran Locomon, Trailmon of all varieties never got the privilege at all. Not only does Trailmon not digivolve into Locomon, it also doesn't digivolve from anything. What makes these trains different? Trailmon is like the Pluto to Locomon's Goofy. How dare they? And then if we throw in the Abmon Reshamon, who looks hugely like a mini Locomon, man, we could have a whole evolution line of trains. And hey, speaking of those kind of connections, what's going on with Shademon and Eismon? The fact these two are different Digimon is wild to me. They are so incredibly similar, and yet have never shared an evolution, a VPET, or even an anime episode. Well, I'm a little scared of Time After Time right now, after the whole Bemon incident. So as of time of recording, Digimon Ghost Game is about to have a very eyes-focused Digimon episode, which means either Eismon or Shademon are about to show up, but there is of course a chance that they both showed up. So let's make two endings for this section to cover our asses, shall we? Here we go. Wow, I can't believe we saw a firm connection between Eismon and Shademon today after so many years of waiting. Good job, Bandai and Toei. Wow, I can't believe we still didn't get a firm connection between Eismon and Shademon today after years of waiting. Great job, Bandai and Toei. And third place goes to Panbachimon and Pandamon. We haven't seen much of anything of Panbachimon since Cross Wars, it being something of a cameo in tribute to its voice actor and design bassist Mari Yaguchi. Given that Panbachimon's name is literally Panda Beemon, and it is a Panda Bee, this would be such a fun Digimon to throw into Pandamon's evolution line. Either as a cutesy mega for Pandamon to digivolve into, or imagine if it bridged a random-ass gap between Fanbimon and Pandamon. There is also Zhongmao Shou from the cancelled Digimon Legendary Skies manhwa, so maybe one day we can see all three Pandamon united again. Alrighty, the penultimate pick is Ragulmon and Racielmon, who feel like such counterparts to Rasenmon and Rasenmon Fury Mode. Both of these Digimon are megas of partner Digimon, and both of them represent the good and bad forms said Digimon could take. They also both released in the later half of the 2010s, with Ragulmon and Racielmon releasing in 2017, and both forms of Rasenmon releasing in 2019. I can't help but think this connection is purposeful, despite never being fully illustrated by any Digimon medium up to this point, again besides a technicality in the card game. From their similar names all beginning with R, to their bestial nature and colour palettes, and of course the good and bad sides, I'd love to see these four Digimon officially paired up in the future, perhaps seen as feminine and masculine counterparts, whatever that means in Digimon, in a similar manner to Bielstarmon and Bielzamon. And finally, are Tia Ludamon and Mirage Gaugamon. I've talked about the connections between the Ludamon line and the Gabumon line before, so how fitting is it that Tia Ludamon specifically has similarities to a kind of homage Gabumon line, the Gaumon line, or specifically Mirage Gaugamon. This was actually the pair that inspired this video when I tweeted about them a little while back. From of course their blue coloration and 3 claws, but also the two notably have wolf or very definitely canine chest armors, and even actual heads of canines on top. Tia Ludamon's a little bit more canine adjacent as a head, I guess. This is such an oddly specific detail for a Digimon to have, let alone two, that I think could be very much intentional. The only detractor really is that Tia Ludamon couldn't digivolve straight to Mirage Gaugamon being a champion, but it hasn't even become Mac Gaugamon before, or digivolved from Gaumon. Tia Ludamon honestly feels like it could be a Medabot version of Mirage Gaugamon or something. Anyway, that is it, my list of 10 Digimon who are very similar and yet apparently have got no connections. Yet. Huge shout out to my Sovereign ZDK14, as well as all my channel members for making videos like this possible, including my Digidestined, Numa282, Robert Storinoga, let me know the pronunciation on that for next time, I think I got it wrong, Night 12, welcome back, Metallic Pool, Zalgion, The Haven 316, Artsy Sky, Rule Lima, Nate Conley, Andrew Sobel, Treesees, Addy Rock Art, Chaotic Prophet, Ranma Karova Greyfire, Full Fat Mark, Lost Feline Paish, Seven Wolves Rule, Christ 620, Finish Caesar, Brandon Lister, Rec BCQ, Dresden Nova, thanks for your suggestion for this video, Dresden, Chaos Dude 7111, I think I got it right this time, Gekaluchi, Koltaku, Kenya Kubiaki, Kaya Jaeger, Sad Uncle Callum, and Crimson Dragon Slayer. The Digidestined are growing, they are very big right now, so if you want to become one, become part of the fold, I'll see you over there, see you in Discord. Thank you all so much as well to the Tamers, Karn Club, and Twitch subs. I'm kind of leaving Twitch, sorry. Check out the video below me, and I will see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.